This week on Supercars Talk, Will Brown confirms he's going over to do a NASCAR round again this year, while the Enduro co-driver field is basically set. The big news this week is that Will Brown has confirmed he will be doing a NASCAR race this year. It will be at the Chicago street race, made famous by Shane Van Gisbergen the other year when he went over there and won. Will Brown will be driving the Cowlig Racing number 13. It'll have backing from Shaw and Partners and Mobile X, plus a spattering of other sponsors. I think Southern Cross Truck Rentals and a few others are involved as well, but the main sponsors will be Shaw and Partners and Mobile X. So yeah, get ready for all of the Pete Adderton Supercars bashing coming our way. It will be exciting to see how he goes on a street course. Previously last year, him and Cam Waters did the Sonoma race, and yeah, I think he will fare better on a street circuit. I'll tune in, probably not live, but I will make an effort to watch that one again, of course, following the local guys. The big question on everybody's lips, I see a lot of comments on Bookface and things like that about, how Supercars is dying, but yeah, of course it is. Anyway, the big question is, why are Supercars drivers looking towards NASCAR? Well, yeah, okay, there are a lot of them, not all of them in particular. Some of the high-profile guys are. I think, my understanding or, my thoughts on the reasons of this, not everyone may agree, but this is, we do have long gaps in our calendar. So drivers are looking to do something in those gaps. You look at someone like Jared Hughes, he's driving something nearly every weekend as he comes up through the ranks. While then you look at, and Shane Van Gisbergen has said a big thing about going over to America is that he gets to go racing every weekend. He used to try and find all sorts of different things to do in between the big gaps, which Supercars does have long gaps, which does give, the drivers in the championship an opportunity to look at doing other things. Also, it is something different to what they're doing day in, day out. Not unlike, drivers wanting to go and do, say, like at home doing the Bathurst 12-hour or some of the GT racing around, or, looking and going and doing things like Le Mans and that, if it didn't always clash with, seems to always clash with the Darwin round. So that makes it difficult for them to go and do something like that. Whereas there is a lot of opportunity for the guys to go and do a NASCAR round because they have about 11 billion races a year. So they can slot into the calendar somewhere. Plus there's a lot of cars in their field. They do have a better kind of wildcard system by the looks of it. So there is an easier opportunity for the guys to get a start in the field. And also, it is going and trying something on a bigger scale. Most of these guys, when they were juniors, probably had ambitions of going right to the top in Formula One, with Supercars probably being a bit of a backup plan, where this is a little bit like a sidestep. Yeah, yes, okay, NASCAR is on a bigger scale than the Supercars Championship, but it gives you the opportunity to, say, go to America's tin top category and have a crack at it, where they have bigger crowds, bigger fields, all that kind of stuff. So I don't think it's as much as people saying the drivers trying to get away from Supercars as much as trying something different. And there would have been, drivers in the field who would definitely have had ambition to go to NASCAR at some point, but probably a little bit unrealistic for them to do that. Whereas now, especially with what Shane Van Gisbergen has done, it has opened the opportunity for us to do that. But yeah, if you have any other reasons or don't agree with me, just let me know down in the comments. So it was confirmed this week that Jack Perkins will resume his co-driving duties with James Courtney again for James's final fling as a main game driver at Blanchard Racing Team this year. So that basically sets the whole field for the endurance races. There is a couple of little question marks, but I thought this would be timely to run through everyone who is confirmed and the couple of ones that are a little bit of a question mark, I suppose. So we'll kick it off with the team's championship leaders, Triple Eight, Feeney and Whincup. Once again, a very strong pairing. Will Brown and Scott Pye. Again, in the 87, they'll be a very strong pairing once again. And the wild card will be for the final time, Craig Lowndes, and then Zach Bates will be part of that. I say the final time because Craig will be a Chevrolet driver somewhere next year. He will not be continuing with Triple Eight. That is going to be a weird one because he has been around there for such a long period of time. Tickford, Waters and Winterbottom, that will be a fearful combination. I think they're probably in one of my favourites for the race, Randall and James Moffat. Yeah, Moff's been a bit hit and miss the last few years. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. And, of course, they have got the wild card confirmed with Dalton and Gray in there. They will be doing their individual solo rounds as well coming up. Will be interesting to see how Lockie goes at Perth this weekend. Walkinshaw and Andretti United. Now, these guys, the lineups are not confirmed, but the drivers are confirmed. I am assuming because Coulthard and Ryan Wood paired up last year that they will continue with that lineup. And then Jaden Ojeda has been signed to partner with Chaz Mostert. That is my assumption. I think if they wanted Coulthard with Mostert, they would have done that last year. So I think Ojeda's been signed to partner with Chaz there. But yeah, watch me be wrong when it all gets announced. At Groves, we've got Payne and Garth Tander once again. I think they will be super strong. They'll be one of the favourites for the race. Kai Allen and Dale Wood. Yeah. Woody doing a pretty solid job there last year. DJR, we have the reigning Bathurst champions, Kostecki and Hazelwood. It's going to be hard to look past them for back-to-back wins at the mountain. And then Davison and D'Alberto. I don't think D'Alberto's partnered with Davison at DJR before, but one of their longest serving employees now. I think John Bowers the only one to have driven there longer, even if Tony's only been kind of doing 1 or 2 races a year with them. Matt Stone Racing, the next one, Percat and Tim Slade. Yeah, Percat probably had, well, MSR probably had the worst lineup of co-drivers last year, and yeah, they've gone in very, very strong this year. I think Percat and Slade will be a factor in the race, and Hill is with debutant Cam McLeod. They will be running the wild card as well. Cam Crick, this is the one seat at the moment that is, this one is definitely still open. So Brendan Leach, there were a lot of rumours he was going to be the co-driver, but that has all gone quiet. Will it be a Super 2-star or Jalen Robotham is available at the moment, and I know they were very impressed with him when he co-drove with them a few years ago. Brad Jones Racing in the 4 cars, Heimgartner and Fraser once again. That will be fairly strong. Bryce Ford and Brad Vaughan. Yeah, I think Brad will, he didn't get to show his abilities last year in the wild card. I think he's going to do a lot better next to Bryce, and Bryce is always a factor in the longer races. Jones and Jordan Boys. Yeah, it is what it is. Jackson Evans and everyone's favourite driver, Jack Smith, will be back to partner with him. At Premier, Jimmy Golding and Dave Russell will be partnering once again. They were very strong last year. And although Richie Stanaway's co-driver has not been confirmed, it's looking like it's going to be Nash Morris in that car. Team 18, Di Pasquale and Harry Jones. Nothing against Harry, but yeah, the last person to come from Porsches, yeah, the transition wasn't exactly stellar. Dave Reynolds and Lee Holdsworth in the retirement car. Yeah, no comment on that at the moment. Erebus, Cooper Murray and Job Stewart, and Jack LeBrock and Jared Hughes. I think we are going to see some surprises out of this lineup. Some really good young blokes in the co-driver seats. And of course, last but not least, well, maybe least, Blanchard Racing Team, Aaron Cameron and Zach Best making his co-driving return. And of course, James Courtney and Jack Perkins. The other question is, will the Matt Charters, will the Charters have their wild card again this year with Matt Charter and probably do a similar thing with a Super 2 bloke in the co-driving seat? That nothing from those guys has been confirmed yet, or any other wild cards coming from the wild. Now we are back to racing this weekend, all the way over in Perth. Last year, Mostert and Waters took one win apiece from the two races. They were on the podium in the other race that they didn't win, with Chaz being second and Waters being third. So Chaz would have taken the overall win for the weekend, while Will Brown was the other podium getter in the two races with a second and a third. Ryan Wood had a standout weekend here last year with a fourth and an eighth. After a slow start to the season, he was very strong here. We're back to that super sprint format for the weekend. Friday, we'll see two 30-minute practice sessions. These times are in Australian Eastern Standard Time. They aren't local Perth times. I find it a lot easier if I put it in my normal time. So sorry if you are located elsewhere within Australia. Anyway, Saturday we will see two qualifying sessions for the two races. They will be a two-part knockout qualifying session. I assume on these it knocking out 14 after the first 10 minutes and a top 10 runoff for the second 10 minutes. At 2:55 p.m. we'll have race 1 of 50 laps, and then at 6:10 p.m. dinner time, we'll have race 2 of 50 laps. And then on Sunday, it is that longer format, 1 o'clock in the afternoon qualifying. It will be a knockout again with two 10-minute sessions. This time, I think it'll be the 4 get knocked out and then the 10 get knocked out. You watch them slightly change it. And then at 3:05, the top 10 shootout. Another top 10 shootout. Every weekend has a top 10 shootout. 5:15 in the afternoon, 83-lap race for the finale. As I said, they are Australian Eastern Standard Times. My questions running into the weekend. Matt Stone Racing will run their Indigenous liveries this weekend because of the what they've done is agreed that they will drive straight from Perth to Darwin rather than all the trucks going home and then going back across to Darwin. So MSR will be taking kind of advantage of being able to wrap their cars in their Indigenous liveries back home and then taking them to Perth and then not having to wrap them in between. It will be interesting to see if any other teams take this path or whether they do the traditional, would kind of wrap them for Darwin and then run them in Townsville as well. It'll also be, they'll I suppose, get a bit more exposure for their sponsors releasing them early. The big racing-wise questions will be, will DJR bounce back after the horrible Tasmania they had? Brody did have a shocker here last year, but Anton and Will were pretty strong in the DJR cars. So, yeah, the chances are they will. I don't think they're going to have as bad a weekend as what they did in Tasmania. Which Triple Eight driver will end up on top this weekend? Brock seemed to take the mantle in Tasmania, but yeah, Will Brown is always strong, and he was very strong here last year. Will WAU have the same form that they had here last year? As I said, Ryan Wood had his first standout weekend here last year, and Chaz won the weekend overall, but their form has been very up and down this year, so maybe they will hit those heights again and do really well this weekend. And Will we have a surprise winner on Sunday? Definitely over in Perth. We have seen, especially in the longer races, where we see, someone do something a little bit different and pop off a bit of a different winner. So that's it for my Wanneroo preview. Down in the comments, let me know why you think the Supercars drivers are looking at doing NASCAR, and who do you think will be the strongest partnership at the mountain. Right now, Waters and Winterbottom for me. It is very hard to look past those two. I think Mark will have a point to prove, and Cam is usually pretty strong up on the mountain. But I'll probably change my mind another 15 times before we actually get to Bathurst. So enjoy the racing on the weekend. Until next time, I'm still Dave, and I'll catch you later.